Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome to everyone who's coming on and all my replay viewers. If you are on YouTube watching the replay, this was recorded live on Periscope. You can always check me out over there. Thank you guys for coming on and welcome. I'm going to turn my camera around so we can talk. Hello everyone. I know I don't normally come on Saturdays, but I wanted to invite you guys to have a cup of coffee with me. My husband is away this morning working, so I'm kind of home doing the cup of coffee thing by myself. And I thought, hey, why not just have people come join me? And if you and I were sitting around a cup of coffee, as we are, but if we were face to face and I could see your face, there's so many things that I would tell you. And I would share with you the hard things that I have dealt with over the last couple of years. Now, of course, I'd have to be a little bit guarded with what I say, as we all are, right? Because privacy issues. We can't just tell everyone else's stories. We can't just share things that... somebody says they've enjoyed my scopes. Thanks so much. I don't know. What's your name? Nikki, maybe? Nicoli. I've tried to read what your screen name says. Mary. Oh, well, that's not in there at all. Okay. Thanks so much for coming on, Mary, and commenting. And I think that if I was to be real honest with you guys and just really share, some things I could definitely... Oh, mom of Nick and Allie. That makes sense. Some things that have been really hard for me. About 2.5 years ago, we went through like this major change in our marriage and in our life. And my husband had been a associate pastor for about 10 years, and it was just time for him to walk away from that for a while. And goodness, it was very difficult for me because we just had to do life really different. And it was hard because we had this one way of doing things and everything. Good morning, Maria. And it was really hard because we weren't doing it like that anymore. At the same time, probably about 3 or 4 months before my husband finally had to take on a different type of job, I was starting freelance writing. I had no idea what I was doing, okay? I started some gigs on Fiverr, and I did not know that they would blow up. I did not know that people would actually hire me to do writing for them. And so I had always wanted to be a work-from-home mom. I was homeschooling the boys. Somebody says they understand they used to work at church in your children's ministry. Well, congratulations. It can be difficult. And we still do ministry, but it's just different. It's different than it used to be, and that's okay. God has brought us through a lot. So I was starting to do my freelance writing, and I did not know what I was doing at all. I didn't know anything about internet writing. It's very different. Blog writing is not the same as technical writing, right? I mean, I'm sure if you've ever read a book versus a blog, you're going to know that. And even books, I don't think, are the same that they used to be. And so I was really unsure of myself. I had 2 children that I was homeschooling, my older 2, and my youngest was potty training, and I mean, goodness, my days were very crazy and very full as it was. And then, all of a sudden, we really needed the income that I was getting through writing. And my business needed to grow. I didn't even know how to make that happen. And it's honestly just been on account of God's blessing, because I don't really promote myself. I don't even know how to do that. I don't promote my services. Other than off of Fiverr. And God has just always given me people that want the work, that want me to write for them. And it was a pretty scary time. I was overwhelmed. I had no idea what I was doing in my life in general. We were just in new territory. Our schedules were all crazy. And for the first little while, my husband was kind of having to work around the clock while he was getting into another job. And I was losing my mind. I was home with kids that were being homeschooled and one that was potty training, and I was trying to figure out this whole writing thing. My income mattered. I needed the money. It wasn't like I didn't need the money. I absolutely had to have the money, and I was just really struggling. It was hard. It was a very draining time in my life. And I had to make a really difficult decision. And that decision was to send my kids to school the following school year. So they've been in public school, the older two have been in public school for the last 2 years. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I felt like such a huge failure for having to send them. I was homeschooled myself. I know you don't meet very many grown people that were homeschooled, but I was homeschooled most of my education. So I wasn't exclusively homeschooled. I got in private school for a few years when I was younger. I was 1 year public school and middle school. But for the rest of it, I was home educated. And my mom wasn't like a homeschooler for life person. I never felt that I would be either. So I kind of always thought, okay, if it's not working out for them at home, I can send them to school. But I think the reason why I felt such a big failure in this was that I didn't feel like I was sending them to school for them as much as I was sending them to school for me, because I just couldn't do it. And we were fighting a lot, and they wouldn't do their work, or, I couldn't get one of them really spur them on to read, and we were just struggling, and I was losing it. And I honestly felt like I had to send them to school, and this was in defeat, not as in the best thing. Somebody says sometimes doing something that takes care of you is actually doing something for your kids. Yeah, I think I struggled with that, and it was hard because I had to adjust to school, and I didn't even understand school, and I can tell you I felt very confused as to why in the world I sent them to school all day, and I was still doing as much homework with them as I ever did at the homeschool table. So that was a little surprising and overwhelming. But they've had a difficult year, and good morning, Michelle. So I'm bringing them back in the fall, and I kind of didn't expect that. Somebody said they had to send their kids to school because your ex-husband left and it broke your heart. That is very hard. And somebody else says homework for kids, homework for mom. I know, right? Like, this homework stuff, I thought, as much time as I'm spending with you guys on this homework, we could have been done with the school day. It's not as bad now. But this past year, I got out of survival mode. And I feel like I maybe have a better handle. Oh, somebody said no one told you that you were going to do third grade for more times. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're going to be doing all the grades every time. I never knew that either, right? 4 more times. So this past year has been kind of different because I feel like I have a better handle on my business, and I have a better handle on the blog. I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit more over at Love Hope Adventure. Those of you guys who follow me over there. I blog about the marriage, relationship, intimacy, marriage, how you can be closer with your spouse, and then kind of all things home, because everything that happens at home affects your marriage, right? So we've settled down. My husband is in a better routine. He works as the director of a food pantry, which was just honestly a godsend, a blessing, because he can do the things that he's really great at. And he's doing them for a good cause, something we're passionate about. We're passionate about feeding those that are in need. And he also preaches on the weekends at a church, and he's just preaching there. So it's not like a full-time pastor. Somebody says, so you're in a better place now. Yeah, we are. It was hard. It was really rough. We're in a better place now. Does that mean that things are always good and easy? Mm-mm. We got a lot of hard decisions to make still. And one of those decisions was I'm bringing the kids back home this year. I kind of was ready to bring them back home in December. This past December, but I just kind of thought for their own sake I'd let them stay at the school for the next semester, and then I'll bring them home in the fall. We're part of a co-op, and it just meets once a week, but I'm going to teach, because if I don't teach at this co-op, I don't get my kids in the classes I want them to be in, so I'm going to have to teach in the fall, and I can tell you guys I'm already stressed about it. I already feel like a failure. We haven't even gotten there, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do for curriculum. I haven't even looked at what we own and what we don't own, and what did I get rid of. And man, 2 years ago, I was like, I'm done with this homeschool stuff. They're all going to school. That's not what I wanted, but I don't care. I can't do it. And now I'm like, okay, I can't trust this school. They're coming back with me. All right, we got to undo some of the things that were done over the last year or two. And they're hard decisions. So I kind of shared all this with you guys this morning over coffee, as you can see, because I want you guys to know something. Somebody says, pray about it, God will help you through. And I am praying about it. And I am really asking God to help me be prepared. Because I don't want to think about it. I don't want to prepare. I just don't want to prepare. And, yes, these are Walmart cups. Where you get this? Walmart. So I follow a lot of bloggers. One of them you guys know, hopefully, Crystal Payne at The Money Saving Mom. And I follow Erin Odom over at To Love, Honor, and Vacuum. The Humbled Homemaker. Sheila Gregor over at To Love, Honor, and Vacuum. I follow Stacy at The Humorous Homemaking. And a couple of other bloggers. They're marriage bloggers. And I talk about these guys because you know why? They've made such a big impact in my life. And the reason why they have is they just come on and they talk and they share their personal stories, and I have been able to build relationships with a lot of them. Somebody says they found me through Erin. Yeah, I try to get on everybody's scopes as much as I can. Oh, and another blogger that I like following is JD at Sex Within Marriage, and he and I have been able to really connect, and all of these bloggers, I've been able to connect with them. Thank you so much for saying that, Michelle. Because we just talk, man. I just tweet at them, I get on their scopes, or I send them messages, or I leave comments on their websites. And I did that because, online community is so amazing. I'm not saying that you should abandon community, that's real life, but online community has allowed me personally to connect with people that I really connect with. And it's kind of hard to find people around you all the time that you truly connect with, but I love this about websites and about social media. And there's a lot of things I don't love about social media, but one of the things I do love is just being able to get a writer's story, to be able to talk with them. So when I was growing up, I wanted to be a writer. I always did. I've been writing stories since I was 5. And I just always thought, okay, well, there's no way I'll actually be a legitimate writer, because back in the day, you were going to have to be a journalist, or you'd have to get book deals, and I never thought I'd write a book. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but as a kid, I was like, oh, I don't have the focus for that. Short story collection, maybe, but I don't think I can write a full book. And we got into the world of the internet, self-publishing and blogging, and I can get on and I can say whatever I want, and I have an audience. It's so amazing to me. But what else is really amazing to me is being able to actually talk with a writer. I mean, think about it back when, writers used to write books and things, and you would never necessarily get to meet them. I mean, if you did, you were going to have to, try to get to some convention they were at and then stand in line and then say, hey, real quick, sign my book, and that was the end of it. But I have people that I read their blogs that I have, been able to actually have conversation with, and it is incredible. I think that the writing world has changed so dramatically, and it has been amazing. And it brings people together in such community. And I love the blogs and the internet for that reason, because we can actually get to know somebody. So these people that have poured into me, Crystal Payne is the top of my list. I followed her for 9 years, 8 years, 9 years, whatever, since her blog blew up. I mean, I have been on that blog almost daily for that many years. She's just poured into me so much. And somebody says your daughter is a great writer. Any advice as she gets older? Well, I would say, yeah, start freelance writing. Just start freelance writing. Write for other people. That's my biggest advice. Write for other people first. because then it allows you to be in that habit, and it's that accountability. Because I'm going to tell you something about writers, is we're not very accountable. Man, we just kind of, we struggle with deadlines and stuff. So it's really important that you have a form of accountability, or you won't use that skill that you have. And that would be my biggest tip. Write for other people. Get paid for it. And then you'll start going, oh, wait, I can do this for myself, right? But I think that what's really cool to me is that I can read a book by somebody, and I can go over there to their blog, and I can actually follow them on their blog. And a lot of them are doing Facebook Live. A lot of them are doing Periscope. A lot of them I can tweet at them. And if they're not too huge, or maybe if they are huge, but they will still respond to me. And I love bloggers like that. So before I get off of here, I wanted to share with you about this bundle sale. And I don't know if you've heard of it. If you follow Erin and Crystal, you probably have. Because Erin Odom at The Humbled Homemaker put this bundle together a couple of years ago. It's called the Ultimate Homemaking Bundle. And she has a book in there. She has like a resource in there. And so does Crystal Payne. And so does Sheila Gregoria at To Love, Honor, and Vacuum, which are 3 of my top bloggers that I follow. Hi, thanks so much for coming on. And they're like the 3 of the top bloggers that I follow. And then there's another blogger. I was looking at that package yesterday. Her name's Asherita, and she did an Advent book, and I helped her on her book launch for that. I don't know her that personally, though. I don't really have a real relationship with her, but I do know her, and I know she's got a website and stuff. And I wanted to tell you guys about that Ultimate Bundle because it's $29.97 or something like that. And it's, I did not want to talk about it and promote it this year because I know in years past I've not been able to afford it. This year I can. But I've had some difficult couple of years, as I've already shared, right? We had a job change, which caused a severe loss of income, and we had to work through things. So I didn't want to talk about it because I was like, well, what if other people are in the same boat that I'm in? And they just don't have the money for all these great resources. But I decided that you're grown people, and you get to make that decision for yourself. And I want to tell you about it, and I hope that you guys will at least check it out, because you might find that there's resources in there that are really important to you. And I will tell you this, the best thing to me about that bundle is that you're supporting a small business, first of all, because everybody in there are all small businesses. If you didn't ever think of a writer in that way, they are. All of the writers, they're small businesses, or they're self-employed, and this is part of their living, and so you're supporting that, and you have the ability to go in there and read a book by an author, and then you can connect with them. And I personally think that is awesome. Because I know that it can be expensive. $30 can be expensive for some people and be way out of your price range. I put together a post with some free resources from some of the same bloggers that are in that package, and then a few others on my website at lovehopeadventure.com. And you can scroll down. It's probably about 3 or 4 posts ago. So it's a free resource list of just a couple of things. So some of them you got to sign up for free newsletters and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with signing up for a free newsletter, because you can immediately unsubscribe if you don't really want to stay on the person's list. Although I encourage you to stay on someone's list, at least give them a couple of, emails to see, okay, are they going to actually send me anything that I want to have from here on out or not? So it's kind of important to stay on just to see, what are they sending me in the email? And then I also wrote a little bit about the package, and today I'm going to kind of go through and get my top picks of the resources in there that I think are going to be most valuable, because it's overwhelming. I'm not going to lie. There's like 70 ebooks and 14 printables, and there is no way in the world I can read all of that stuff. I'm not a huge reader, right? I'm a writer, but I'm not a huge book reader because I don't have the focus. And so I'm just going to be straight up honest with you guys. I really don't. When I read books, I skim them. And I just kind of skim through. Okay, I hit the highlights. That's me. But there's other things in the package that I do look forward to. Somebody asked, can I ask an off-top? You signed up for my newsletter yesterday. Where do you find what? Oh, the printable game. You didn't get it emailed directly to you? Because when you sign up for my newsletter, there's a confirmation email that will come to you. You click that confirmation email, and then it automatically sends you an email with the links to my free printable games. So if it did not work for you, please send me a message. You got an email, but you didn't find a link. Was it a confirmation email? Did you get that one? Where it says confirm this email and you click it? If it didn't come to you, you did confirm it and it didn't come back to you? Oh, great. Well, how about this? You should email me, Keely@lovehoopadventure.com, and I will send you those printables right away. And then I'll get on to my email service and find out why it didn't send it to you, because it's supposed to all be automatic, guys. But please email me, because I don't have your email address. And like 10 people signed up yesterday, so I cannot know who's signed up. I could be like, if only you signed up, I could go back in and probably find you, but I had a lot of sign-ups yesterday, so I don't know. But email me at Keely@lovehoopadventure.com. And yeah, that, you know what I should do is I will probably go ahead and email the list, the free printable, again. Yeah, I should totally do that. I will email the whole list, the free printables, again. And I just sent out an email this morning. Did you get that one? It was late last night, like 12:30. I sent out one, but it didn't have the printables in it. That's definitely something I'm going to change. Thanks so much for saying that, because I should put the links to those free printables in every email. That way, because I'm not techie enough to really have that stuff housed anywhere, so it's all just PDFs. And, you know, somebody who's got enough tech knowledge could probably store all of that somewhere, and there would be like a link to it. So maybe I'll figure that out at some point. And I'm going to put that in the email so you guys can always get the free printables. But email me so I can just go ahead and email that to you, because I just emailed my list last night. I can't email the whole list again until next week. So otherwise they'll be like, I hate you. Stop emailing me. I'm going to unsubscribe. Too many emails, right? Guys, thanks so much for coming on and joining me today. And I will talk with you guys hopefully Monday. I don't know. Yes, you can reply to the email if that's what you're asking. You can reply to any of my emails. They come to me, to that address, Keely@lovehoopadventure.com. That's where they come. And I try to put that in my emails that you guys can actually reply to me. I'm not a do not reply email address. I am a real email address, and I really get your responses. So if you ever want to ask me anything and you're like, I don't know what your email address is, just hit reply on the newsletter. It'll come straight to me. And that way I'll know, so I can reply back to you and send you the message. And yeah, so glad. Thanks so much for asking, because I didn't know. It's possible maybe I went over my limit. Who in the world knows? I'm kind of new at all of this. So guys, thanks so much for joining me today. And I don't know if I'll get on tomorrow, but I will definitely be back on Monday. And I look forward to seeing you guys then.